Hi, everyone, and welcome to Functional Training. This is Mike here, and I hope everyone's having a great start to the fall and can get outside and enjoy some of the changing colors that we're going to have here and staying well and active. So let's begin with our functional training workout warm-up. So we're going to start with a standing position, side-to-side lunge. So you're going to be standing up in an exaggerated, extra wide stance. We're going to do some lateral movement and dynamic stretching to get the hamstrings and the rest of the lower body and the rest of the body in general warmed up. Okay, so thank you, welcome, and here we go. Okay. Extra wide stance. So traditional athletic stance is feet slightly wider than hip width apart, knees slightly bent, and you're going to go even wider than that, slightly bent, and shift your weight left to right. That's all you're doing. It's just a slight shift in your body's weight side to side. Go a little bit wider with the feet. And you're going to begin to go lower and lower each time. All right. This is a good way to contract the quads and the hamstrings, also lengthening a little bit. So it's a little bit of a dynamic stretch, mobility, focusing on that lengthening, contracting of the hamstrings, and you'll get the balance in your feet. You'll feel your feet digging into the floor as you do this. You're shifting your weight from one lead leg to the other, and that one foot stays in position. Okay, now go nice and low, so touch the floor. Try to touch the floor while keeping your upper body facing forward, so don't bend over with your upper body. Keep your chin up. And you'll start to feel this burning a little bit in the lower body. That's the idea. Now try to touch your foot that's in front, so the leg that's bent, try to touch that foot. Now you have some rotation happening, some torso rotation. Hold it right there. Down. Put that knee down to the floor. And do some thoracic lunge movements here. So your left hand goes beside that foot on the floor. Rotate the other way, reaching your hand to the ceiling. Bring the other hand down and replace that one and switch. Bring that down, standing back up, continuing that motion that we were just doing. Reaching to that foot, planted on the floor, a little bit of a torso rotation. And hold it right there. Opposite side, so drop the other knee down. The right hand now on the floor beside the foot. Turn and reach nice and high. Switch hands, so bring that left hand that was just reaching up high down to the floor. And the other side is rotating. Bringing that down, standing back up, and relax for a sec. Great. Okay, take that off a bit. We are going to go down to the floor now. Just going to adjust the camera. Okay, so down to the floor. Make sure you have plenty of room around you. We're going to do our glute bridge variations. Lying down, supine position, so back on the floor, butt touching the floor, and feet on the floor with the knees bent. Hands can either be off to the sides or your elbows digging into the ground, either way. What you want to do to start, nice and simple, lifting the butt off the ground just a few inches. Holding this position, so don't go too high, just about a fist's length up, and just hold this here. Focus on contracting the glute muscles. Engage there, and setting it down, relax. Up again, squeeze, engage, and down. So each time, hold for about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and down. And you're squeezing the entire time. Nice and tight. Just like any muscle, you can flex your arm, flex the glutes. And down, one more. 3, 2, 1, and down. Great. Now we're going to do one side at a time. So lift your right foot off the ground. Everything stays the same. And digging in with that left foot into the ground, you're lifting off the ground and hold. 3, 2, 1, and down. Each time you're squeezing that left side nice and tight. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this a couple more times. 3, 2, 1. Okay, other side. So left foot is up, right foot is planting down. We're going to contract the right side. Try to keep the hips level. Lift, squeeze, engage. 3, 2, 1, and down. And continue. Down. 2 more. Squeeze nice and tight. 3, 2, 1. Last one. And up. 3, 2, 1. Drop down. Lift both feet off the ground. Grab the knees. Pull into the chest. A little bit of a back stretch. And you're going to rock back and forth just a little bit left to right. And step the feet down. Slowly sit up. Great. Okay. And there's our warm up. We've got our lower body nice and contracted. Those muscles are working. We've got some mobilization there and some dynamic stretches. And you engage the glute muscles, which we want to work the entire time while we do our balancing coordination. Okay, quick drink of water, and then you're going to need some dumbbells. So go ahead and grab that. Okay, so you're going to have 2. All right, so this is many versions of this exercise that we've done. And we're going to do 2 hands, but unilateral with the lower body. So 1 leg at a time. So what we're going to do is a single-legged hinge or single-legged deadlift. On the way down, we're going to do a row and then up. And then we're going to do 5 on each leg. And then the second part of the exercise is down, lifting the leg up, row, but then on the way down, you're going to press over your head. Okay, so let's do the first part, which is just the bent over row, single-legged deadlift. So here we go. Starting on the right foot, kick the left leg out behind you, start to lower down, low as you can go comfortably, perform 1 row, and then return. Okay, and from this angle, down, nice and low, 1 arm row, and return. Okay, keep that up. We'll do 3 more, nice and slow. Low as you can go here, 1 arm row, return. 2. Last one. Okay, other side. Left foot is planted, right foot is extending behind you. Ready? Row and return. Three more. One more, finish it here, nice and slow, extend as far out as you can, and pull and return. Okay, great. Okay, now the hard part, we're gonna do 5 more on each side. This time we're gonna do our lunge with overhead press. So down, and you're gonna do a row, just like you did, return, so then that same leg goes back, press overhead, and back. Okay, here we go. Down, row, return, press, down, row, return, stepping back, curl, press, all in one motion. Let's go one more. down, row, turn, ready, backwards and up. Good. Okay, lots to lots to do here. Pay attention. Okay, left foot planted, right foot back. Here we go. Down, row, turn, right foot steps back, curl press, all in one powerful movement. Two more. Finish. And done. Okay. Give yourself a 45-second break. Active recovery. Try not to sit down. And then before we hit the floor, I want you to stay in an upright position, in a half kneeling position, a lunge, just recovered here. Try to be mindful of the breathing, have it come down a bit. You never want to go down to the floor when your heart rate is elevated too high. You can feel quite dizzy. So take your time, transition slowly to the floor. Okay, now the other knee and down. In the seated position, okay? Now we're gonna get some upper body and core working here in unison with our lower body. So a lot of coordination and balance and core stability for this exercise. This one we call the break dancer, okay? So you're gonna be in what's called a tabletop position, or really a reverse plank. So instead of face down, you're face up, and your feet are planted. Your hands are behind your shoulders or behind your head and slightly wider than shoulder width apart. And then you lift off the ground at your starting position. And then the hard part is you're going to lift higher, take your left hand and reach across your right foot and then return. And now the opposites, reach, touch, and return. Okay, so there's a lot of strength and endurance to hold yourself up the entire time you're doing this, because you're never touching down to the floor. You're never resting your weight on the floor. You're holding up the entire time. Okay, all right, so we're going to do 12 all together. Okay, 6 each side. Here we go. Ready? Up and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really turn your body in the middle, rotate. 6, halfway there. 10, 2 more. 12, drop down. Relax for a second. Couple deep breaths. Okay, we're going to work our way back up to a standing position. So the opposite of what we did, going down and do a half kneeling position first. Couple breaths. And then when you feel a little bit better and recovered, then you can stand up. Okay, so just take 15 seconds here, and then we're back up and moving. Okay, so go ahead and grab both dumbbells again. You have your weights. Any household item will do as well. Okay, so I'm switching it up a bit for those of you that are returning to our functional training and have performed these prerequisite movements. We're going to be doing the 3-point lunge, which we would typically do in our dynamic warm-up to work on our balance before any complex movements. But because this is a progression, we're adding some weight and a couple other features that would distract you to really help focus on the balancing. We're adding it in halfway through the workout. So holding each weight beside you, you're going to do the 3-point lunge. So as a reminder, forward lunge, stepping back, side lunge with the curl, stepping back, reverse lunge with the curl. Okay, but we're doing the leg lift. This is where the progression comes in. This is where the balance is. So lunge, but then on your way back, you lift your knee up to your chest, and then down, lift your knee up to the chest. So you can see what happens is, when I go into the lateral lunge, I curl. On the return, I lower them down as I lift my leg up. And then without touching the floor, this is where the balance is. You're going to go down into a reverse lunge and curl and knee raise. There's a lot of coordination here, okay? But if you just want to watch for a couple, let's go. Here we go. Down, up, down, up. Like that. Here we go. 1, knee raise. 2, knee raise. There's no curl on the first lunge. So this is down, knee raise, into the lateral, curl, recover, down. One more. And finish. Okay, other side. Here we go. Left, raise, lateral. Two more. Last one. And done. Okay, that's a good one. That's always tough. Drop those weights down. Another minute rest. Active recovery. Shake off the legs. Try not to sit. That one's always the challenge for the hamstrings. You'll feel that anytime you do one side of the body, always more demanding. Okay, working our way back down. So a half kneeling lunge. Rest your weight down. Slow down your breathing. Bring the other knee lower down even more. It's always a good tip to remember. So if you're doing a high intense workout or exercises that have more demand, so more components. So you're doing multi-joint movements, you're doing upper body, lower body all at once, balance, coordination, stability. They're very demanding. They require a lot of synergy between different muscle groups. So they can be exhausting even though you're not jumping up and down. So instead of going right to the floor and your heart rate is still elevated, we want to try to eliminate that so that they're high quality movements all the time. Okay, so now we're going to do more upper body and core again, going back and forth. So starting with the Spidermans. So basically, it's a slow mountain climber. So you're in a push-up position, and you're bringing that one foot as close to the front hand as possible. So a lot of flexibility, mobility involved here, but also strength and endurance to hold yourself up. If you can't bring the foot all the way to the hand, all you need to do is touch the knee to the elbow like so. But you can try. Here we go. Nice and slow and controlled. No momentum here. Four, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Drop the knees. Lean back nice and slow. Couple deep breaths. Okay, we're going to go right back down again into a plank position on your elbows. And we're going to do our plank push-ups for 10 powerful repetitions. Here we go. You're on your arms. And you're going to place your hand down. Push yourself up to the other hand. And return and then switch sides. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, one more, 10, and relax. Awesome. Okay, returning to a standing position, but again, raising up one level at a time, and then all the way up. Okay, take another minute, water break. Okay, we need one weight, just one weight. So grab one of those same hand weights. Okay, we're going to do some wood chops here. We're going to do our level 1, which is standing. Feet a little bit narrower than our athletic stance. And you're lowering the weight down past the knee. And then on the way up, you're rotating from here, it's down, and then up, down, up, okay? But we're gonna only do one side at a time, okay? So we're gonna go 10 on the right side, so down, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, switch sides. Ready, down. Six, 7, 9, and finish. Boom. Okay. Drop it down. Working our way back down to the floor. In the recovery mode. Good. Okay. Seated position. Burglar stretch. So one foot is extended in front. Other foot is inside, touching the other leg. Point the toes up to the ceiling and slightly towards you if you can. And just lean slightly forward. Did a lot of hamstrings here. So really want to make sure we're stretching that afterwards. Now point your toes towards you to relieve the stretch, or sorry, away. Lean back. And repeat again. Here we go. Pointing up and towards you, leaning forward. And done. Switching sides. And ready, pointing that toe towards you. I feel this a lot more on my left side. You might be able to tell the difference. As soon as you point those toes, that's the indicator. Point them forward, lean back, and back into it. One more time. Okay, now both feet together for adductors inside of the thighs, elbows on the knees, pushing down slightly, trying to lean back. Okay, and now keep your left leg bent right here. Bring your right leg behind you, bent, leaning off to the side of the leg that's in front. So my left, I'm leaning to the left. And you'll feel a bit of a stretch here in the hip flexor area. And then you're going to lean more to the middle, over top of that front leg. You'll feel on this side, in the glutes. And gradually, if you can, try to extend the back leg even more. Try to straighten it out. So you should feel this kind of all over the place in your lower body. Good, switching sides. Right leg is bent in front, left leg is bent behind. I'm leaning to the right just a little bit. Opening up the hip here on the left. And then try to lean in front of the leg and extending that back leg. It's always an awkward position, this pigeon pose stretch. It's very effective. Okay, and then we're going to go up to our half kneeling position again, our transition phase, and hip flexor stretch, 90-degree angles with both legs, leaning forward, taking the opposite arm in front of the knee, and leaning forward again. And lean back, relax for a sec, and repeat. Try to go down a little further this time. And lean back, switching sides. Opposite arm, and forward. Leaning back, and increase. Return, both knees on the floor, sitting down on the heels, child's pose stretch. So reach forward and hold this position. And leaning back. Okay, excellent. Thank you for joining today. That was functional training. Hope you had a good little workout there. And we will see you next week at 11 o'clock, or you can watch this on IGTV, on Instagram, or YouTube. Be well. Take care.